Good morning, children. Today we will be dealing with a very interesting topic, agriculture. So all of you know what is agriculture. You are well familiar with the term agriculture. Now today you will be learning about importance of agriculture in India. What's the importance of agriculture in India? Already you know India is an agricultural country and half of the population of India is engaged in doing agriculture. And it supplements food. Agriculture is the one which supplements food to the people living in India, and majority of our industries work mainly because the raw materials for these industries are provided by agricultural sectors. Then it is a source of foreign exchange also. Spices like tea, coffee, pepper, etc. are being sold to foreign countries, and thereby it results in the earning of foreign exchange. And you already know it supplies food also, food to the animals also. It's a fodder for cattle. All these are the importance that the agriculture give us. So it's a mainstay of the people of the Indian economy. Now what do you mean by agriculture? What's the meaning of the word agriculture? Agriculture is a word, or it's derived from two Latin words, agros and culture. Agros means land, culture means tilling. So cultivation or tilling on field or land is called as agriculture. So agriculture does not mean simply cultivating crops. Other than cultivating crops, it includes animal rearing, then pisciculture, animal husbandry, poultry. All these are related works that is being done along with agriculture. So that is why when you learned the sectors of the economy, you had learned about the three sectors: primary, secondary and the tertiary sector. And India was a country which came under the primary sector. That means majority of the people in India were engaged in doing agriculture and the related works. Even though the secondary sector is going on developing, even now majority of the people in India are dependent upon agriculture. Now what are the different types of farming? What are the different types of farming methods? So primarily there are two types of farming methods: primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. So before moving on to this, what do you mean by subsistence? What is meant by subsistence? So subsistence means commodities that are produced mainly for the sustenance of life, or mainly as a necessity to sustain the life of a person. That means they are not producing anything surplus or excess. That is called subsistence. So subsistence farming means crops grown mainly for their necessity or consumption or use rather than for selling. That is called subsistence. So here two types of agricultural practices are there: primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. So what do you mean by primitive subsistence farming? Primitive means what? Primitive means it is old methods of farming, not modern but very old times. Then we have to move years back. What were the primitive technology or techniques that people used for doing agriculture? So under primitive subsistence farming, people were using small patches of land mainly for doing agricultural works. They did not have modern machines like as we use it today. They simply used sticks for digging. They used hoe, etc. So such type of plowing materials were being used by the farmers. And mostly the family members themselves did majority of the works here, and agricultural practices were done mainly for their consumption. And during their work time, all the members of the family went on working in their fields together. And under this primitive subsistence farming, the agricultural work agriculture mainly depended upon the monsoon, and we know that monsoon is unpredictable also. So it depended upon the monsoon rains as well as the natural fertility. So one best example for primitive subsistence farming is slash and burn agricultural practice. What is slash and burn? Slash means what? Slash means cutting. So, slash and burn agriculture means that in primitive times people did not stay in one particular place. They went on moving from one place to another according to the fertility of soil. So, once the people reached a particular place, or once they found that a particular area is suitable for agriculture, they used to clear the forest. First what they did is that they cleared all the forest area there, and all the trees and plants which were cut down and cleared were put to fire. So, this is what they did there. So, after putting fire, they used to grow crops there. And the peculiarity or the merit of such slash and burn agriculture is that this ashes, while burning these plants, they used to get ash. So, this ash added fertility to the soil, and one demerit is that this fertility of the soil did not remain or it was not long lasting. So, after the fertility of soil was lost, they again used to move to other areas. So, that was called as slash and burn agriculture. So, this slash and burn agriculture is called by different names. It is also called as shifting agriculture because people used to move from one place to another for the practice of doing agriculture, and usually it is known by different names in different places. So, one question I am putting before you, try to find out the different names where slash or in different areas, in different countries, the same practice of doing shifting agriculture is known by different names. So, try to find out the different names that different countries used to note the slash and burn agricultural practice. Now, next is intensive subsistence farming. Then it is just opposite to primitive subsistence farming. Then what is intensive subsistence farming? Usually, intensive subsistence farming is done in areas where there is high population pressure on the land. Where in areas where there is lot of population, intensive subsistence farming was being used. And here, but the main difference of intensive subsistence farming is that they used modern techniques rather than see here in primitive farming they used olden plows, digging hoes, etc. they used for agricultural practices. But other than that, here they used biochemicals, they used good varieties of seeds, they used irrigation, etc. to increase the productivity. And here this main reason for using intensive subsistence farming is the increasing population and the right to inheritance. What do you mean by right to inheritance? Inheritance means occupy the same property again and again. That is called right to inheritance. So, this in order to retain this, the intensive subsistence farming was being used in order to increase agricultural productivity. So, I hope you understood what is primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Thank you.